special edition of Buffalo Bills pregame as we prepare to look over the 2013 NFL season and the Buffalo Bills' chances in it. It's been a fun and exciting offseason, and up until very recently it was exciting for some people, but then we got hit with, as we often do here in Buffalo, with the injury bug.
Yeah.
There have been a number of injuries. What do you think are the most impactful, as the team moves forward?
Well, the two ones that speak off to me the most are E.J. Manuel and Stephon Gilmore. I mean, Stephon Gilmore is basically the only good defensive back we got in the backfield that's proven, and E.J. Manuel is clearly like the new hope, if you will. So, I mean, both those injuries, I think, have brought a huge damper down from how the team had started the season.
Now, Jairus Byrd missed the entire training camp, re-signed with the team, and then has been diagnosed with a foot injury.
Yeah.
How does that, in a defensive backfield that is already looking like it needs a lot of help, how does this, far and away best player going down?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he's going to start on the game against the Patriots. I think it's still kind of up in the air, last I heard. Honestly, I think that's why he kind of kept his mouth shut off during the offseason. That's such an unfortunate thing when it comes to free agents and signings, things like that. They don't want to let people know that they're injured. Same thing with Marrone last year. Obviously, it's a huge part. It's just as big as Gilmore. And, I mean, without those two, the secondary is horrible.
Going against an experienced quarterback in week one, nonetheless.
Exactly, yeah. But I didn't mind that he stood out at camp, though, because I didn't want him to get injured, but ironically he was the whole time.
Now, he's never taken a snap as a Buffalo Bill in the regular season at least, but do you think Kevin Kolb's injury, does this make way for E.J. Manuel to take the reins over earlier and we get to develop him sooner, see what we have earlier, or is his injury, there's one less veteran presence for him to learn from? Like, where do you gauge?
Well, the argument has always been we need a veteran on the team somewhere to help coach these guys up. But, how much of a veteran really was Kevin Kolb? I mean, you look at his career, he had that glimmer of light in Philadelphia, but even when he had that, I didn't understand it. Like, I never really did. It's like, you got Vic back there. Like, why are you going with Kolb? Doesn't make much sense. And then when he went to Arizona, I'm like, yeah, well, just wait, And then when he came here, I was kind of upset. So, he's not a real... And he looked horrible in that Vikings game. That Vikings preseason game. He wasn't... I was there. He was not impressive. And we were all calling for EJ.
Hope springs eternal in the quarterback department in Buffalo.
Yes.
We've had quite the revolving door of quarterbacks who have not made the field in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
With Tarvaris Jackson, Vince Young, Kevin Kolb, Matt Leinart now.
If you go back to that USC-Texas game, who would have ever guessed that Matt Leinart and Vince Young both would have been Buffalo Bills quarterbacks and they both would have been cut?
Cut before taking a snap.
Yeah. Who would have ever guessed that, honestly?
We need to sign Reggie Bush. The preseason was marked with an up-and-down performance. Very exciting in the first half, not so great in the second half. Marv Levy notoriously always did terrible in the preseason. Do you think there's anything we can extrapolate from our preseason performance to the regular season?
We all always want to look at the starting, how do the starters do during the preseason and equate it to the season. And we're all guilty of doing it. I think the big thing, there's two things you got to take out of it. One is that when Manuel did play, once he got into rhythm, he looked really good. And I think he's the clear front runner for the quarterback position between all five quarterbacks that we've had in camp. However, at the same time, he only had 3 quarters that entire preseason, and the fact that we're all ready to crown E.J. Manuel when he hasn't had that game day experience yet. Did he win all this over as the starter? I would definitely say so, but I would not say that we can judge whether or not he's the savior or not.
Do you think that equates to a Week 1 win versus the Patriots?
I think being at home is the best thing for E.J. Manuel. It's the best way to start the season, especially. There's a couple of good things for him. One, he's not starting against the Browns. He's starting against a top-notch team. So that's a true test to what's going to happen to him in his NFL career. And also the home crowd, though, it's such a great start because, he got a little taste of it at the Vikings game that he even talked about. But, when you get everyone in that stadium going ruckus, you'll understand what NFL football really is and what it is being in that home crowd.
Both teams are plagued with injuries. The New England Patriots have not a single return, or have one returning receiver from their receiving core last year. Tom Brady has replaced parts in the past, but he's going up against a defensive secondary that is also injury plagued. Like, how do you see this battle going between the New England offense that is reconstructing and the defense that is being slapped together for the Bills?
Unfortunately, Tom Brady finds a way to get it done every time. Somehow, he'll take your no-name receivers and he'll give them a name. I mean, who was David Patton before Tom Brady arrived? I mean, no, he was no one. And so he's going to take these receivers, a lot of them unknown, and turn them into something. I mean, you got Amendola. I don't really think he's going to translate that well. I think he's going to be like another Floyd that are Lloyd that are trying to get in there somehow. Edelman's going to be fine. He's been part of the system. I think Thompkins is going to light it up. And once Gronkowski does come back, when he does come back, they'll be fine. For
all of you worried about the Patriots out there.
Yeah.
So we always seem to face the Patriots at the beginning of a season or coming off a bye, or where the Patriots had a Thursday night game the week before and Belichick has extra time to prepare for the Bills. Do you think we get the best of the Patriots week 1 at home?
Unfortunately, I do not see that happening. There's just too much for rookie QB, rookie coach. It has been done, but not that many times. So, we doing score predictions?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna say 31-20 Patriots.
31-20. I'm gonna build a more high-scoring game from both sides. I'll say 42-35 Patriots.
You see us scoring 35 points, seriously?
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Hope springs eternal. We haven't seen this
often. Yeah,
hope
springs eternal, but Manuel has only orchestrated 2 touchdown drives against second stringers. I don't know.
We're running a fast-paced offense. We're going to be running a lot more plays. We have playmakers at the wide receiver position. C.J. Spiller's supposed to be utilized more. I don't see the offense being any worse. I think E.J. Manuel already is as good, if not better, than Fitzpatrick, and he certainly has not the quarterback mind by any stretch of the imagination, but the natural athleticism to make up the difference.
To make that score, our receivers are going to have to step up. Goodwin, Woods, Stevie, they're all going to step up.
Let's hope Marrone coaches them up. It's kind of what I'm looking for throughout the whole season. That I would like to see the offense perform well. I'd like to see EJ show that he's going to be our franchise quarterback and us to still lose games going forward throughout the season. I'm still looking, especially after the rash of injuries that we've had, I'm looking for us to tank one more season and get that draft pick. I feel like we have reloaded and started up for a team that is going to maybe be a division winner in 2 or 3 years. Whereas if we took one more season, got another set of high-end draft picks, the elitist players in the league, then maybe in 2 or 3 years after that, then we're competing for Super Bowls. I don't want to be the Cincinnati Bengals who their window opens and they make it as far as maybe the conference championship, only to lose out after your quarterback gets injured. I want to be a team that is contending for a Super Bowl, in my children's lifetime.
Okay.
And I think I don't know if we've rebuilt far enough yet to be a Super Bowl contender in the future. I think we have a good team, but I don't want to be a team that is a flash in the pan, a Cincinnati Bengals that makes it to the conference championship, or a Philadelphia Eagles that make it to the conference championship 4 years in a row. Not to win the whole thing. We've done a lot of almost making it as Buffalo sports,
right.
And I'd rather deal with one more losing season, which is something that we have plenty of experience with, and eventually reach our goal than trying to cut out on the pain and misery right now just for hopes of a conference championship.
I think if this past year's draft taught us anything, is that we can still get the players we want without being in the top 10. We did that. We got Manuel 16, and you even pointed out, as I remember, we could have got him early first, possibly even late second. Now, I know the quarterback class was weak. I'm completely aware of that. But you can't just depend on the draft, the team has to do well just to give itself some hope. You know, not just Manuel might be decent hope, but like some actual hope that we know how to lose games as well as win games. That when we get a loss, like we probably will on Sunday, we can get past it. Okay, we lost the Patriots, whatever. Let's move on and actually win another one, or win one, I should say in that case. You see my point? Like you can't just depend on the one day or the 3 days of the year where we might get better players.
But people who do worse in the league draft better players, and you have a better chance of getting better athletes on your team, you know, drafting lower in the draft. These are facts. You can't argue with this.
Yeah, that's why Oakland's so good.
Well, Oakland also makes horrible draft picks notoriously over and over again. If you're drafting just the fastest player in the draft, you're not composing an NFL team.
Well, we'll see what happens with that.
So what are your expectations for the season then? Like, what would be a what would be a good season for you?
A good season? Well, playoffs.
Playoffs!
Or Super Bowl. But
Super Bowl.
No, but
okay.
Yeah, that'd be nice. But you know, I mean, like obviously, realistically.
So you'd rather have 8-8 than like 3-12 this season?
Yeah, absolutely.
See, I think the continued mediocrity. The continued mediocrity is the absolute worst thing for the franchise. Well, we just can't.
It's not mediocrity; it's improving. I mean, okay, 6-10 last year, 8-8 next year, 10-6 next year, 12-14.
So, your official season prediction, realism
All
aside, what do you think we can realistically look at? What are the Bills going to do this year?
Unfortunately, realistically, I gotta go 6-10 again.
6-10. It's funny how we couldn't disagree more on what we're looking for this season, but we come in right about the same place because, of course, we're not even good at tanking things. So I'm going to give us 5-9-1. We meet about halfway in the
Why do you always do a tie?
Because they're going to tie, and I'm going to be like, I have video proof, I predicted it. Well, Bills fans, it's been fun getting Buffalo Bills pregame back together one more time, and we reserve the right to come to you when we damn well please. And until then, we say thank you very much, and go Bills.